Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host Maxine and we're on episode 106. 106. 2021 is off to a great start, huh? Child, the ghetto. We've had a week. It's been definitely one for the books. I think it's somewhat humbling to be a part of history. Like, this is history being made and we're living in it. So that's kind of cool, a little exciting. But I hope it doesn't turn out to be some Hitler 2021 type of shit. You know, I just came across a meme of a few years before Hitler reigned Germany. He was doing what Trump is doing now. He was gathering folks. He was spreading out propaganda against the Jews. And along the years, he gained more traction and gained more power. And then boom, the Holocaust happened. So look, I don't like to be fear mongering, but this just sounds a little too connected to what's going on right now. Look, I can't imagine a Hitler 2021 situation happening in today's world, right? But who knew that we would be in an America where a reality star, a realtor king, tycoon could become president? Anything could happen. And that's just kind of a scary reality that really anything could happen. Anything could take place. There's a lot of domestic terrorism happening here in America. And at this point, you just gotta live day by day. And I'm doing my best to hold on to my peace, hold on to my joy. I've been getting more intimate with the Lord, and that has held my sanity. You know, I've been sharing with you guys, as I always do. I share a little bit too much with y'all. God damn, what are y'all sharing right back? Hello, can I get some comments? How y'all dealing with shit? Because I be coming out here talking about, oh, I had an anxiety attack one day. I had a breakdown the other day. And it's been a lot for me the last 2020, the last year. And I just want to say, ever since I've been more intentional with my relationship with God, I've seen a change in the way I've viewed things and the way I've just internalized things. Before I was intentional with my relationship with God, I would be so anxious. I would be so worried. I would be so overwhelmed. And I'm so quick to get into that space because it is a natural human emotion. But when you don't have control over your emotions, what happens? Your emotions have control over you. So I got into many fits when every few days I'll just be just anxious, just torn up, just uneasy about X, about Y, about Z. And eventually, you know, you come to a point when you're in a mental breakdown and you realize, okay, whatever I'm doing, something's not working. Let's try God. Let's try Jesus Christ. Let's try that because, you know, New Age isn't working. Jumping into one dick after another isn't working. Let's try something different. Let's try the Lord. Let's try the Lord. So ever since I've been trying the Lord, I've been set free. And I know it sounds so cliche, but I've been, you know, it doesn't mean that there isn't struggles in my daily life or just collectively in the world that we are all enduring. But it's just the knowingness that the Holy Spirit is my comforter, that whom shall I fear, that the Lord's peace surpasses my understanding. And that's the only peace that sustains. Just really leaning into that word really does something to you. At least it does something to me. And if you just take a moment to just invite God into your life. Look, I'm not trying to sound like an altar call. I know I'm really not trying to be that girl. I'm really not. But, you know, when you have good news, you share it, right? You have good news, you share it. So that's what I've been experiencing lately. Excuse the motherfucking dog in the background. Look, my living situation is going to be different soon, God willing. But right now, we just gonna deal with it, okay? So if you hear background noises of a barking dog, just know that it's not of my doing. It is not of my doing. Okay, anyway. Good news, when you have good news, you share it. So I just encourage you, if you haven't tried anybody else, if you tried everything else and it hasn't worked, let's just try God. Let's just try God. I do want to talk about God for a second here because I have a little qualms with the Holy Spirit. I'm gonna have a little beef with the Holy Spirit because, I shared with you guys last episode how I have started my intercessory prayer for Boston Bay because I felt I don't want to say felt, because I feel like sometimes saying, oh, I felt God was talking to me, it dismisses the reality that God does speak to people. God does speak to us. It's up to us to believe whether or not it's him or not. So I'm just going to own it and recognize it was the Holy Spirit. It is the Holy Spirit that has convicted me and that convicts me to even start this intercessory prayer journey for Boston Bay. So that's, I know for certain that is. So anyway, I just have a little beef with the Holy Spirit because can we just talk? I'm just going to adjust my mic for a second because, I think, you guys know I am very transparent. I am very out there and just open about my journey and everything. And I just want y'all to understand that it's not easy always listening to God, especially when you don't like the person you're praying for. Can we just say that? And the word talks about praying for your enemies, forgiving your enemies. And, in this society, we talk a lot about, forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. It's about the freedom that you experience when you let that resentment, let that anger, let that pain go. And although I agree with that, I just really want to sit in the reality that I don't like praying for this person because I don't like this person, because this person has disrespected me. This person has pissed me off. This person has gaslighted me. You guys know all of my struggles with Boston Bay, and yet I'm praying for this nigga? Huh? I'm sorry. Is this a prayer for him, Lord? I'm literally, in the way I pray, not only do I pray on my knees, head down, bowed, I am also journaling. So not only am I just speaking his name, I'm writing down his name in concrete, right? Like I'm writing down his name in paper. It is set. It is in stone. And I'm doing this because the Holy Spirit told me to? Huh? I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I can't tell you guys how much I've contemplated on, just coming up to God like, look, I gave you 10 days. I know you asked for 30, but I gave you 10. Let's just wrap it up. Let's wrap it up right here because this nigga's pissing me off. And I mean, look, I don't know where to begin because at one point, I just have to say to y'all, at one point, I'm really tired of talking about him. I'm really tired of the episodes that I go in and out in discussing this motherfucker. And now I'm talking about praying for him. I never would have thought I would be here praying for him. I never would have thought that. So I know this is God for sure. This is not from my own doing. And I also recognize that there is a part of me that wants for him to be who God called him to be, right? There's a part of me who wants for him to be different, to be transformed, to be renewed, so that not only does he experience the peace in that, but there would be actually a great chance for me and him to succeed in a romantic relationship. So there is a bit of selfishness there too. But when I tell you the percentage of that is so small, it's very, very small. It really isn't about me. Like, I'm not praying. And of course, I'm going to tell you guys like the detail in prayer, but I'm not praying for him like, Lord, make him be the husband that he needs to be for me. Like, that's really none of my prayers. It's more so about the healing that he needs. It's more so about the brokenness that's in his heart and that's in his action and just in his internal being, and getting him to the space of healing, of just freedom in that. I just I'm tired of praying for niggas. No, not even niggas, because this is not even something that I've done before. This is my first time intercessory praying for anybody as extensive as I am. And this is my first time feeling really convicted about it. And I'm really looking forward to see what God does with this, because nigga. I mean, let's just be honest. Because I think when we think about prayer and praying for other people, right? We pray for other people whom we may like, right? And we don't pray for other people who we don't like for at least a long extended period of time. If I'm praying for my enemies, I'm not praying for their downfall necessarily, but I'm just praying for them to be at a better place with themselves, because clearly if they're my enemy, something's wrong with them. Something's up with their psyche and they need healing. They have trauma. They need to grow and move forward in life. So I pray like that. I don't go into details. I don't go into 30-day journeys of prayer for my enemies. No, nigga. I just do one quick prayer if I need to, or it's really about myself. Like, okay, Lord, show me how to not, define myself how this other person defines me, like stuff like that. So I'm not in their power. But with this prayer for Boston Bay, I'm going in, y'all. And I feel like, I recognize that it is spiritual warfare. I recognize that what is happening with him is more than flesh and bones. And in the Bible, it talks about, I want to pull up that verse, because it really is the truth. Flesh and bone scripture. There we go. So Ephesians 6 verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Okay, so all of that is to say that when we are having continuous battles with said person in our life, it's not the person that you're necessarily fighting. And of course, there's some percentage of that where it is, but it's more so about there are spirits, there are forces using him as flesh to destroy you, to put you down, to use this physical being as a vessel for their evil work. And I'm not trying to sound wonky. I really don't. So this is really for my believers who understand. And I hope those who are not believers could give me a second to listen to what I'm saying. But understand that there are some people out here, many, not even many, mostly everybody really, if you allow the enemy to just take hold in your life. But there are people out here who are operating off of the workings of the enemy, the workings of the devil, the workings of Satan, the workings of Lucifer, who are allowing their greed, their anger, their resentment to hold such weight into their life that they're being led by everybody else but God. And when I say everybody, I'm recognizing that the enemy has his own forces, right? Has his own spirit guides, angels of demons, right? Who are doing his work. So when I look at Boston Bay, I recognize that it's more than his flesh. It's more than his flesh and bone. It's more than what I see on surface. I could see before that or beneath that and recognize, oh, this is deeper. This is bigger than me. And I recognize that is because that's the reason why I was convicted a few days ago to start this intercessory prayer for him, because the issues that I deal with him is I talked about how he's narcissistic, and at least he displays examples of narcissistic behavior and personality, and how, like, I remember one time, it was like 2 years ago, because me and him been at it, not dating, but seeing each other, talking, whatever fucking stage that is, but we've been at this stage for a while. And I remember one time we was riding in my car. We got out the car, and he was saying he was trying to poke me, like trying to not physically poke me, but like trying to bother me and get me out of my skin and get me angry. And I'm the type of person, I'm really not easily angered. Like, I would choose laughter over anything. I love to laugh. Crack me a joke right now. Okay? Like, it really, I'm laughing. If nothing else, I'm gonna laugh. That's me. And so it takes a long time for me to really be angry and really express that too. Because not only do I feel anger, like, yes, I feel anger like everybody else, but it's another thing for me to let that anger really be expressed, really be let out. That's, oh, bitch, I'm angry. Like, that's really a big deal. So he was poking at me. He was like making fun of something. I think I was driving kind of crazy. Maybe I was driving a little kind of crazy. And it just could have been a moment, or no, it wasn't my driving. It was just the route that I was taking back. So I was the driver when we, in this situation. So I was driving and he was in the passenger seat. And I guess I wasn't taking the same route as him. You know how niggas be? If you don't take the same direction that they're taking, then you taking a long way. You trying to go the long way. You can just take a left right here and take a right there. I'll be right there. Like, I like the long way. The long way is fine. Like, I don't need to take this left and then go on a little sketchy street just to get home 3 minutes earlier. Nigga, we could wait the 3 minutes. It's fine. Why you in a rush? Oh, I hate when niggas be doing that. It's not just him. I've had another nigga who would just be like, oh, you taking that long way. Like, nigga, go get a cab. Go catch a cab. If you don't want to take a 3-minute extra into our commute, catch a cab. I have the Uber app available. Do you want me to call you an Uber? Do you want me to call you a Lyft? Is that another option that you want to explore? What the fuck? So anyway, we're driving. I'm taking the long way. I'm taking the route that I take. And another thing with me, like, once I find a route, I'm sticking to that route. Hello? What? Why are we switching it up? I like taking it straight. Take that third left and then that right. On the left, you'll see that Target sign and you 3 minutes away. That's the route I like to take. Stop switching it up. We're taking a drive. Listen to the music. Close your eyes. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Anyway. So I'm driving and I'm taking a 3-minute longer route. And he's like expressing his disgust. So we finally arrived to his house where we were going. And then we get out the car and he's like trying to, hey, you always taking it, like, just like poking, just extra. And I'm just like getting annoyed, like, okay, so literally like, okay, so I'm not even mad, but you could see me getting annoyed, right? You could see me getting there. And the look in his eyes, you guys, I looked at him in his eyes. It was not him. At least it wasn't the him I've been knowing for the time that we've been knowing each other, right? It wasn't the same eyes that I saw. I looked at him in his eyes and there was this glee. There was this joy in seeing me get upset. There, like, it was this like evil smite in his eye, in his whole facial appearance. And I felt in that, like, it was just a quick instance in that moment where I felt like, oh, shoot, this isn't Boston Bay. This isn't only Boston Bay, at least, right? You know, you could be so, I don't want to say possessed, but you could be so captivated by other spirits where ultimately, you know, you're the one in this physical body, you know, operating as you are, right? But oftentimes the way you act, the way you behave is motivated by whatever other spirit is in you. So I saw more of that other spirit in him, and I felt this immediate discomfort. I saw something in him, and I was just like, oh shit. Like, and again, I'm just someone who is a little bit more sensitive to that. Like, I am very sensitive to just the energy in the room, the spirits in the room. Like, I sense things a little bit more. So maybe another person wouldn't have noticed, wouldn't have seen it. Sure. But I know what I felt. And so that was just one example where I could think of where right now where, okay, like, he's not all the way good. And I recognize, like, you know, I think when people are narcissistic, it's not just like a mental thing. I feel like it's like a spiritual battle as well. And I don't want to say, because again, I don't believe in the whole once a cheater, always a cheater type of thing, right? I don't believe in that whole rhetoric. I feel like if you want to change, you can. But when it comes to Boston Bay, he can't do it on his own, because what's controlling him is greater than him. And that is why the Holy Spirit convicted me to just get on my knees in prayer for him, because he needs healing, he needs deliverance, and he needs all of that. So, you know, when I recognize, oh, he's matching the traits of a narcissist, this is greater than me. I can't just talk to him nice and he just become nice, right? He is defensive immediately. I remember one time he was talking to me again about his childhood trauma, and me, I'm the type of person, like, I'm someone who people just talk to. Nigga just want to talk to about their life story with me, which is an honor, though. I do feel honored and humbled that, you know, you feel so comfortable enough to just share whatever it is that you've been struggling with me. I think that's a beautiful thing. But I also recognize, can we talk about something else? Like, I'm tired of talking about your father who hit your mom and how you saw it at a young age and you wanted to kill him yourself. Like, that's literally been our conversations for the longest time ever. That's been the theme of our conversations with me and Boston Bay. And me being a sensitive person, me being a empathetic, not in that setting, but sympathetic, at least, I'm listening. You know, I'm compassionate. I'm creating such a space between us where you feel comfortable enough to even share this, you know? And he would tell me how when he was younger, his father was supposed to pick him up. His father never made it to a basketball practice or to pick him up from school, and how he felt like he wasn't good enough because his peers had a father in their life. You know, his peers had full parents, both parents in their life. And he wanted to participate in the basketball team, but there was a certain amount of money that you needed to have in order to be a part of the team. Like, you have to spend X amount of dollars in order to be a team member. You know, you got to pay for the jersey, the equipment, you know, whatever it is. And his father couldn't afford it, or his father didn't show up. You know, he couldn't give the money. He couldn't support the mom. And so his mom was a single mother. And like, he was telling me told me, right, all of these stories. And there is sadness that I feel. There's sympathy. There is compassion. And so I naturally generate these safe feelings, or safe environment, at least, for him to even feel comfortable enough to share these experiences with me. And I think with that, it sometimes plays to my detriment, because if you're an abuser, because really a narcissist is an abuser. If you want to just keep it plain, is an emotional abuser. is someone who's a manipulator. That is a great target for those types of people. So when I think about Boston Bay, I'm like, okay, as much as I do care for him and I do love him, I cannot put myself in harm's way when it comes to our dynamic. Because I do believe, like, if me and him were to ever live together, or even just be, child, I have so many stories, but if me and him were to live together, I would be hit. Like, it would have been a physical abusive situation. And I just know it. So anyway, I remember one time I went to Atlanta. I talk about it. I forgot which episode, but it was a few episodes back, y'all. And if you know what episode it is, where I talk about how I went on this impromptu Atlanta trip that Boston Bay paid for me to come because he was in Atlanta, and then he just decided to buy me a ticket, and I was like, okay, cool, let's go. So I'm like down, I'm excited, like, ooh, spontaneous, this is exciting, this is fun, this is Atlanta, and I've been to Atlanta before, ain't nothing new, but it was always fun to hop on a plane and go somewhere. So I go, and mind you, this was a trip that was already a plan for him and his boys. Like, they have this annual trip that they go to, I think it's to Atlanta, and that was the plan. So when me and him was conversing, he was like, I'll buy you a ticket right now. Like, dead ass, you really want to come? Like, I really want you to come, so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. I could do it. I could take a day off. The fuck? Ain't gotta tell me twice. So I go. Probably the worst trip of my life. It's like not the worst. Y'all know the worst trip of my life. That God forbidden Miami trip I went on a year or two ago. That I talk about on the episode I'm Rich Bitch. Go back to that episode. That was the worst trip of my life till this day. Okay. But anyway, so going to Atlanta, that was a bad trip. Let's just say that. It was just a bad trip because even though he invited me, it made me feel like, oh, I'm welcome to come. He just didn't make me feel welcome. It was just so uncomfortable. Like, I think he's just so like, something with narcissists, they're really insecure. They're really insecure, which is why they manipulate, which is why they make you believe something that's not really there, because they want to control things, because they're really insecure of who they are. So, like, he wasn't really, like, just really being the man that he needed to be. Like, he just wasn't as sociable, didn't really interact with the guys there on the trip. I remember when I met one of the guys there, he was like, oh, you're Maxine, okay, he talks a lot about you, like, smiling his face. I'm like, oh, okay, like, I didn't know Boston Bay even talks about me, like, the way we are is just, I'm surprised. And then Boston Bay, that could have been an opportunity for him to be like, yeah, I love you, or like something like intimate, something affectionate, but he lacks that confidence to be that for me. Like, he doesn't hold me, he doesn't make me feel desired or wanted, and it's just this weird, I think he's just really insecure. Maybe he doesn't really like me, but I don't think it's that. I really think he's just really insecure. But anyway, so remember one time we was in bed, right? So just finished fucking, and it's like, you take a nap right after, and he what kind of cuddled up, and mind you, he doesn't even cuddle like that, so it's like not really a cuddle situation, but we're kind of cuddled up, and I'm like not rolling around, but I turn around a little bit, and I politely asked, y'all remember this, oh god, I was like, do you have any snacks? Child, set him off. When I tell you set him off, I want to say it was Jekyll and Hyde. And I think that's nothing with narcissists. Like, you walking on eggshells with niggas. You walking on eggshells. Like, oh shit, is this gonna make him angry? Is it not? I remember, we're gonna go back to this, what I was just saying, but there was another moment where he showed me a Jekyll and Hyde situation where he was like, where he was talking to me about his, childhood trauma and everything. And I was listening, just being there, just listening. When people talk about stuff like that, I can't really relate to that like directly. I don't have direct experiences with that. Like I know some people in my life who have gone through some of the things that he's gone through, but I can't really relate. So I'm really listening. I think that's a great way to be in conversation with somebody, is to just simply listen. Like you don't have to talk about your experience with that same thing. Just listen. So I just listened with him, and I just, I asked, I was like, have you ever considered talking to a therapist? Maybe that could help process your, I'm just like literally asking that question very gently, very kindly, because I'm not thinking this might set him off. Oh, but child, it did. So he didn't set off right in the moment. He just explained to me, he responded by saying how he wanted to, like, if he were to, he would only want to speak to a Black male therapist because he feels like Black men will be the best person who could really understand him. And I understand that, to an extent, right? When you want to speak to someone who looks like you, who may have the same history as you, right? You may take more advice and wisdom from that person. And that makes sense to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. That makes sense. Cool. So then later on that day, we go back to his house. I'm laying on the bed. I don't think it was after we fucked, but we're just laying on the bed. And then I said something. I forgot what I said. And then he just popped off. He was like, oh, you asking me if I should go see a therapist? You should go see a therapist. Why don't you go see? Like, immediately just popped off. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, you've held on to me asking that hours ago, and you're using that has a rebuttal to now turn it around on me. Like, this is not, like, he'll keep things and he'll be so defensive about things. And it's like, you're walking on eggshells with this person. You have to be mindful of what you say, because if he doesn't react crazy in that very moment, he will bring it up later on. Like, okay, nigga, like, I wasn't saying it. Some people say, damn, nigga, you need help. Like, they say it very mockingly. It's not out of love and concern. It's out of judgment, really. And that's how I feel like he takes things. He takes things out of judgment rather than just actual compassion. So anyway, going back to the story that I was saying, I rolled around and I'm like, do you have any snacks? Child. He was like, really, Max, you want to ask for snacks? Why are you asking for snacks? We just ate like 3 hours ago. You asking for snacks? He gets up from the bed, y'all. He's like stomping around, talking about, you asking for snacks. Oh, like, just like, how old men be like growling, that. He's doing that. And when I tell you, like, look, again, me, I'm not easily angered. I'm just like, if anything, before I get angry, I get stunned. That's what it is. Before I get angry, I get stunned. And I sit there, I'm just like, how did we get here? I just asked for snacks. And that's not, you would think I don't know. I don't think it's a weird, I could fucking eat. That's the thing. I could eat, right? But we didn't just eat. We ate like 3 hours ago. The point is, me asking for a snack should not have led you to react the way that you did by stomping around, growling at me, and making me feel uncomfortable. Like, that's not appropriate. Do you understand? So he gets up, he's doing all of that. I'm laying there like, I'm turning around like, is this the Twilight zone? Like, did I escape to another world? Is this an afterlife that I just got into? Because this is some crazy shit. So I'm just like stunned, like, why are you? It was just a question. Oh, but we just here. Why are you asking for that? All like just vomit, diarrhea, all that coming out his mouth, just by the way he's talking to me, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. This is the first day, like just a few hours from me landing, me touching down ATL. And I'm just immediately regretting it. Like, great. This is the ice that I'm talking about. This is the walking on ice that I'm talking about. Every time I try to ignore it, boom, God shows me another example. So anyway, I say all that to say, I'm praying for him. The fuck? And it's hard as hell. And I don't want to say I wish I didn't get that conviction from the Holy Spirit. I just wish that I didn't get that conviction. Let's just say that. Because I think it's like, no, I ask for strength. I really do. While I'm praying, or right before I pray, I do ask for strength. Like, God, help me to not see personally, help me to see outside of me, and pray for this person outside of my own personal feelings for him, because this is not about me. It's not about me. And so I take myself out of the dynamic and just pray about him and what he needs prayer for. Day 30, as soon as we hit day 30, child, no, I'm not even gonna come to God about him anymore, okay? He's like, I don't know what that, but you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna like sweat it, because this is just, it's too much. Like, I never felt so drawn to somebody in a way that I feel a responsibility for. Ugh, I don't know what that's about, but I'm just gonna give it up to God, which is what I've been doing. So I've been praying for him. And okay, so anyways, so before I started, or like a day or two before, maybe even, a day or two before I started praying for him, I was what happened? I'm losing my train of thought. Me and him were communicating, right? We, of course, he hit me up in my DMs, which I'm now heavily considering. Well, we'll get to that. But anyway, he hit me in my DMs. We started talking. I did tell him that, I still love you. I still love you. I just said it. And I'm the type of person, like, look, I own my feelings, whether me and you are going to be together or not, whether we are in a good space or not. I recognize that this is a feeling that I do have for you. And, eventually if it does go away, it goes away. But I'm just going to be honest and say it and let it be so. But prior to me telling him that, there was, I did responding to my Instagram story, this light conversation. And he's a type of nigga who, I'm noticing to be a nigga shit, that as soon as you give a nigga an inch, they take a mile, right? So like he'll respond to my Instagram story, something like LOL. I just be going off in my Instagram stories, just like crack and joke about something. And he'll respond with the LOL. And then I will like that, right? I'll double tap that reply from him. And then boom, that's a green light for him to respond and be like, I still miss you and love you, Max. Like, immediately he'll just start saying, like, just diarrhea in the mouth. Like, nigga, all I did was double tap your LOL. I did not ask if you feel anything, right? So anyway, the door opened for the conversation to happen, and like he'll ask, when are you coming home? And that was during time I did keep you guys in the loop. He asked me when am I coming home. I was going to go home, but decided not to after my father advised me to. And there was a situation that happened where he texted me and he unsent it. And I know he texted me, I love you in big caps. But he unsent it because I remember seeing the text in the Instagram story, in the Instagram DM, and he unsent it because I didn't respond like right away. Like, I just looked at the message, but I just I was really tired. It was like a late night text. And then I'm like, what's up with that? Because, Instagram, even though you unsend a message, this is a FYI to all of y'all out here who want to unsend messages on Instagram DMs. The person will still receive the notification. So I saw the notification for 3 new messages. Yet when I checked the DM the following morning, I only saw 2 messages present. So I called him out on it. First, I try to give him the opportunity to admit to me that you did send said message. But of course, as a narcissist, you're not going to admit you lied, right? Of course not. So I said to, I asked him, I'm like, hey, did you send me a previous message to this message? He said, no, I didn't, love, trying to butter me up. I'm like, but I could have sworn you did. And I'm still trying to give him an opportunity. I could have sworn you did. I got a notification for 3 new messages. He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, I know you're lying, right? And then boom, of course, that sets him off. He's like, what's wrong with you? Why? I don't have time for this weird shit. You get a notification. So he sent me a screenshot of the messages. I'm like, that means nothing. That means nothing. It literally means nothing. It's not gonna be there anymore because you unsent it, nigga. Duh. He's like, you'll be notified if it was unsent. I'm like, no, you won't be notified. I'm notified when a message is sent, and the message disappears when you unsend it. So then I'm going down a rabbit hole on YouTube trying to find out how to find an unsend message on Instagram. I never could have found. I just saw mad Indian niggas on YouTube talking about some shit. Like, this is some scammer ass shit. Anyway, but when you see more Indian, look, this is a scammer tip 101. When you see more Indians in a YouTube video, know some scamming shit's going on. Let's just say that. Know some scamming shit is going on. When you see Indians, when you see Alibaba, and you see all of them, know some scamming shit's going on. That's just me. That's just been my experience. Okay. Anyway, and any African, to be honest, if you want to be honest, if you want to keep it a buck. Anyway, so I couldn't find a clear video, but I know for certain that he sent me that and unsent it, because he also is very, as a narcissist, you're insecure, and so you're very emotional, and you get, like, you can't really own and stand in your feelings like that. Like, you send me, I love you in big caps, but you feel uncomfortable that I just read, how in Instagram you could see the message, the other person sees that you saw it. So he denied it, and I felt convicted again, which is, I'm tired of this Holy Spirit, like, relax. But I felt convicted to just tell him, I still love you. Like, despite your shit going on, I still love you. And I think the reason why I felt that way, I felt convicted to share that, is because I think I recognize with him, he's going through a lot, and it's not to excuse it, really isn't. But I'm just talking from a standpoint of, when you are at your worst, right, or you're not operating at your best, you want to still feel loved by people around you. Like, I would hate if, God forbid, he commits suicide, or he puts himself in harm's way deliberately because he just doesn't love himself. And I want him to know that somebody loves you, babe, right? Like, and he has a mother, right? He has bros in his life who love him. But I wouldn't sit right with me knowing that I didn't share that, especially when I felt convicted to share it, even though it came after him lying to me that he didn't unsend a message. I just felt like I needed to tell him that, because I think we don't know. Well, at least I know what he's going through, right? But we don't often know what people are going through. We don't know the shoes that they're walking in. We don't know the thoughts that go through their head. So if you could be kind, if you could just say in that very moment that you love that person, that could hopefully help them get through the next few moments, right? Enough so to not do whatever it is that's detrimental. That's just me. Look, maybe I'm just too deep. But anyway, so we started talking. And so, okay, fast forward to a few days ago. I didn't end up going home, like I said. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should just go home for like the long weekend, because he also mentioned to me how he has a discount at, specific hotels, and he could cover my, my stay. And, that's an option if I wanted to explore that, right? And if I didn't want to go home back to my parents' house just for their protection. So I'm like, okay, that's, nice. Thank you. And like, he's the type of person, it's just weird. Like, he'll go off and say, I could do all these things for you, right? I could give you a discount on your stay, or, I could pay for your flight. I could do X, Y, and Z. But then when you do it, it's like on it's at a cost. Like, it's at your comfort type of cost. Like, I'm gonna make this trip for you horrible, so you're walking on eggshells for me. It's just weird. Anyway, so I said to him, hey, what are you doing, this long weekend coming up? and are you free? He said he'll be around. He only has to drop his son off to practice. This bullshit ass excuse that he always says about his son. But anyway, he says that, and then I'm like, okay, well, I was thinking about coming home for that weekend. We could spend the weekend together, and stay at the hotel. Tell me I never heard from him. He never responded. I mean, he responded once, right? So he finally responded, like, after I say to him, okay, never mind, because he took 2 hours to respond. So he finally responds and he says, what he say? He said, wait, my B. That's his first response. I guess he's doing something, right? Because did I ever tell you he's a drug dealer? Oh, okay, he is. So he's doing shit like that, right? So he finally responds after that response and says, hey, are you awake, babe? And he always does that babe shit whenever, like, he's trying to, like, butter me up. So it's late at night, and that was during the time when I went out with Married Bae. Hello? I'm not gonna call him Bae. Married nigga. I'm calling him Married nigga, and we're gonna get into that in a moment. So I'm the type of person, although I am not tethered to anybody, right? I still am respectful, because I think it's so disrespectful to be out on a date with somebody, or just be out with somebody, one person, and you're texting your other nigga. Like, what are we doing? Like, you're rude. Like, I'm never gonna be out here on a date with somebody talking about somebody else, or texting somebody else, or talking about, oh man, that other person was a really good time. Like, that's just so weird to me. I remember, child, I don't want to talk about her, but like, one time with LL Bae, I was we were just hanging out, and like, yeah, we have a friendship or whatever, but there is still a line that has been crossed where I don't want to hear about your sexcapades. I don't want to hear about you liking somebody else, or you having feelings. Like, I don't want to hear it. I remember one time she was saying how she was liking someone. She was just talking about somebody else. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? And it's like, okay, I get it. We're not together. We're not in a committed situation, but it's out of respect, dude. Like, what are we doing? And it goes for anybody. Don't talk about other niggas when you with one nigga. Obviously, we're not together, right? We're not in a committed. This is for anybody. We're Boston Bae with any other baes. We're not together, right? Hence why I have several baes. But the least you could do is not talk about other niggas when you're with me. The least you could do is make me feel like I'm your nigga. I'm your girl for this 5 hours that we're together. So anyway, I was with Married nigga, and I got that text from Boston Bae talking about, hey, are you awake, babe? And it's like 12 here a.m. So it's 1 over there in Boston a.m. Nigga, no, I'm not awake. And even though I was awake, I'm not gonna be awake for you, because how dare you? You respond 6-7 hours later talking about, hey, are you awake, babe? Nigga, are you awake? Are you awake? Are you alive? Oh, you're alive. Got it. So you couldn't respond earlier to my idea of coming down for a weekend in which you showed interest of seeing me? What? Are you awake, babe? Nigga, no, I'm knocked out. The fuck? So anyway, I didn't respond. And I wish I would have responded in that moment, just because I wanted to know how he would have responded, what he would have said to my idea of coming home for the weekend. So I never responded because I was a Married nigga. So the next few hours, as soon as I got back, it was like an hour later when I was done with Married nigga. Again, we'll talk about him in a moment. Hold on. I gotta go step by step. But as soon as I was done with Married nigga, I texted Boston Bae back. I said, yeah. Yeah to his, are you awake, babe? I said, yeah. And mind you, it's later on, so he could have obviously fell asleep. Cool. But I'm hoping, okay, in the morning, we will converse and pick up this conversation. None of that happened. The whole day went by. It's like later on in the day, the following day, still no response from Boston Bae. Still just this weird ass energy. Like, nigga, what the fuck? If you don't want to hang out, Or if you don't want me to come for the weekend and you don't want to spend the weekend with me, just say that. Don't be all this bitch ass, punk ass shit not responding. What are we doing? Aren't you 37? Don't you have a kid? Don't you have a mortgage? Oh, you do? So that means you could have grown ass conversations? Oh, that means you know how to say no? That means you know how to have a respectful conversation? Oh. What? You just ignore somebody when you don't want to do what they ask? You could just say no. That's fine. Like, that's not gonna break me. I'm good. So he never responded. I said, what the fuck? WCF. Didn't respond. I deleted that thread. But you know what's interesting about iPhone? When you delete a thread, even though you delete the thread, if the person decided to double tap that text, so you know when you double tap, you could laugh, you could exclaim, you could question it, right? On iPhones, Android users, I don't know about y'all, get a life. But iPhone users, you know what I'm talking about. So even though I deleted the thread, I got a notification that he responded or he double tapped. I think he just laughed at it or something. And I couldn't see it on my phone because, again, I deleted it, right? So, but I know it happened, right? I swear, just like I know he sent me that text on Instagram DM. I know he sent me that text, but he unsent it because he got afraid and butthurt like a little bitch. Okay? So anyway, say all that to say, I'm praying for him. No, we'll get to that. Anyway, yeah, so no response, nothing. So then I finally responded like later on that day or the following day. And I just said, I don't understand why you're not responding to me. If you didn't want to come or if you didn't want to do the weekend, just say that. I don't know why you keep on doing this. And that was just it. No response, nothing. It's been days since. And I don't know what I don't know what happened. Like, how do we get here again? It's literally every time we link up. Every time he hits me up on some, I love you, I still miss you, Max, on this shit. And I open the door to even have a conversation with him. He shows his ass. And then he just goes, did you die? And you know me, well, I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I star 6-7 niggas. I will star 6-7 you until you pick up the phone, so I just know you're alive. I mean, I gotta check on you, right? Just a little welfare check, little welfare call. I gotta call on you to see you good, nigga. You good? Okay, cool. Hang up. At least he's alive. So I star 6-7 him twice. I think 2-day intervals. So a little space in between. So I won't look too hot. I won't look too hot out here. But he picked up, nigga. He picked up and he's alive and well. Nigga is not dead. He's not dead. He just didn't respond to my text, but he's not dead though. Child, get me out. Get out. This is a movie. So I'm just upset that I'm stuck praying for him. And I still have, how many more days? Hold on. I'm on day 11 of praying for this nigga. And today's technically day 12. I haven't prayed for him yet. I usually do it in the mornings, start off my day. And I'm praying for other things. So I'm not only praying for him, but there is a dedication for him on behalf of the Lord. Well, to God on behalf of him. And I'm just counting down these days. Look, at this point, it's really to God. It's really to God. It's not on me. It's not my doing. I'm trusting God to do what he does. I'm trusting God to be the transformational power that he is. And I believe that he can change by the grace of God. It's literally by his grace alone, because I can't do it. Here's what I recognize that I may do though. So by the end of this prayer, intercessory prayer, I'm still uneasy about it. I feel like I have to block him, like on all apps, like maybe not on my phone. Actually, no, I don't know. I'm still debating, but I'm gonna have to block him. But the thing is, the reason why I'm hesitant, because I want him to see me shining. Maybe that's my pride. Maybe that's my ego. But I want him to see me shine. When I get my house, I want him to see me shining. When I get if he's not my husband, when I get my husband, I want him to see me shining. And I want him to be in turmoil. You know? Well, that's me. I think about how, like, okay, look, if God, I do believe God can transform him however he does and however long he does it for. It will be a whole new Boston Bay. Like, I will actually, if he really changes, like, if God really, like, look, I'm transforming him, he's a whole new man, a whole man, I will tell y'all his name. I won't even say Boston Bay anymore, because that's an old identity. I will say his full name, his first name. I'll say his name. That's how big it'll be, because damn, nigga, you changed. Like, and that's by the grace of God. That's really only it, because I can't. And then I think about, like, there is so much needed for him to, like, this, he would have to be a whole new person. And only, right? Doesn't the Bible talk about, in Christ, new creature? Okay. We will have to start from scratch. Like, who are you? Have conversations, understand each other, communication styles, love languages. Like, we will have to start from scratchy crash. Okay. So, look, and it's like, are you even, because I think about the times when I would think about him and just his personality, and I'm like, we don't even get along. Like, he doesn't make me laugh. I don't feel comfortable with him. I don't feel like I could be my whole self with him, because I'm walking on these eggshells. I'm the type of person, I love laughing. Y'all know this. I love joking. I love to be in good spirits. And he's not that nigga. Sorry, I'm like, he's not that nigga. He's not that nigga. So, God would really have to make him to be that nigga. And child, I'm giving it the 30 days that I've been convicted to do. Day 31, if I don't get a response from him, and I also just feel like I want to block him on some petty shit. Like, nigga, okay, fuck you, let me block you type shit. Like, you don't respond. Why? Like, did we have an argument? Like, did something happen? Like, I don't even recognize what could have led for him to not respond. But maybe this is just God's way of showing me, look, let him be where he is as I work on him. And when it's time, if that is the Lord's will, we will rekindle. I don't know how, because you're going to be blocked. Yeah, I think I'm going to block him. I think I've decided that. I'm going to block him. So day 31. So let's do this. Day 31. Y'all, you guys know but look, I journal, and so I really keep track of everything. And plus these podcast episodes, a lot of them has been about him. So day 31, I don't know what I'm expecting on day 31, but I'm expecting God to show up and show out and tell me what to do. Okay? So day 31, if I hear nothing from him, if I see no change in him, I'm blocking this nigga. And if the Lord wants for us to get together, like if he has designed him for me, and now that he's in a position to be the man that he needs to be in order to be my husband, right? These are all just words that I'm just like spewing out right now. Then even though he's blocked, there will be a way. Like, God could make a way out of no way. The point of what I'm saying is, even though someone's blocked, you could still figure out how to contact me, nigga. You can still figure it out. Because here's the option I'm excuse me. Here's the option I'm thinking. He has a son. His son probably has an Instagram. He could go on his son's Instagram and then find me and then say what he needs to say. I like to think of scenarios. This is another way for him to contact me if he needs to. But I am going to, I am going to block him. I'm going to do it on the 31st day, right after the 30th, in which I prayed intercessorily for him. intercessory for him. And, you know, I'm surrendering that. I feel more good. I feel good about that. I feel at ease with that. Actually, I think that's the plan. That's the plan, and it is so. And ooh, the pain. Oh, the petty that I feel knowing that when he checks on my account, he's gonna see 0 follows, 0 following. Because, you know, Instagram, they'll tell you've been blocked, but you know you've been blocked. Because, nigga, bitch, you had 300 posts on your Instagram. Now you got 0. Okay. All right. Let's talk about married nigga. Because, child, let's just start off by saying, I want to be a sugar baby so bad, but God. That's the title of this episode, because I really want y'all to understand this. I've would try to fantasize about being a kept woman, being a woman who's taken care of, even though, and typically if you're a sugar baby, you are being kept by a man who is not attractive, who's way older, who has a wife, who has all these things going on, but you're kept, right? Hey, he bought you the latest Prada. Hey, he got you a range. Hey, he paid for your rent. Hey, you know, all these things. But God. And it's not to say that I necessarily want to be kept. I think it's just these things look good, right? You know, you think about just social media and just like the lifestyle that some people try to present on social media or just on TV. And you think about like, I would like to have that. And I think it's kind of weird because I'm not a materialistic person at all. I'm really not. Like, I'm chilling. But I think about, if I would have had this or that, I don't know. I just think about the option of having this. It would be nice to have someone who could get it for me, type of thing, rather than spend my own money. That's really what it is. I don't want to spend my own money. I want to spend yours. I want your money to be spent on me. That's the way to live as a woman, right? Huh? Is that gold digging? I don't know. But the point is, I want you to spend your money on me. That's it. And the money that I make, let it be the money that I make and that I just do whatever I want with. But for like, and that's, okay, I cracked it. I don't want to be an adult. And what I mean by adult is like, I don't want to pay for bills. I don't want to, pay down credit cards. I don't want to take care of my student loans. I don't want to do all of that. I do it because, of course, I have to, and I am, and I've been doing this adulting thing pretty well. Praise be to God. But I don't want to do this shit. I don't wanna. If I could have a nigga to do it for me, I would want that. Hello? If I could have a whole married nigga to do that for me, okay. Let's do it. Let's make it work. That's fine. What's the problem? But God. So I think about when I say sugar baby, it's not even about materialistic stuff. Because I don't care about brands. I don't care about any of that. I like stuff that makes me look good and feel good. But I'm not like, I need to have the latest Louis Vuitton. Like, I really could care less. But if you could pay my bills, then I might consider. That's how I see it. Like, if you could just pay my way as a living being here on this earth, great. So anyway, married nigga, I thought to myself, like, maybe this is an opportunity for me. Maybe this is a choice that I could make for this opportunity of being taken care of by said nigga. And I immediately changed my mind when I hung out with him that one time. So the time when I recorded the last episode, it was that same day we hung out. right after I recorded that episode. And a couple of things just struck out to me, and I just realized, yeah, I can't be a sugar baby at all. I cannot do this. I'm not built for it. I think about the title of this podcast, God Built This, and I didn't recognize it in the beginning when I first started this podcast, but I recognize it more now where I'm not built like how some other people are. And that's not even trying to be on this hierarchy shit or this, superior type of shit. I'm really not trying to act like that. But there are some things that I just can't get into, even if I tried. Even if I could have gotten into it, right? Even if I really wanted to, even if it could have been the easier way out, I'm just not built that way. I'm not. And it's not any shame to anyone who are sugar babies, who are sex workers, strippers, or, who are in relationships simply out of convenience financially. I'm just not built that way. God built me different. God built this. So I own who I am, and I'm always reminded, oh, fuck, I'm not built this way. Even though I would try to go that route, I'm not built this way. Fuck, I'm not built this way. And it was the moment when he got in my car and he still had on a hat. Mind you, when I met him at the African hair salon, he wore a hat at work. But he had this swag. Remember I was telling y'all the last episode, he had this swag, okay, ooh, he got this. And I like niggas who have strong backs, an upper back. Ooh, you got a strong upper back. Okay. You doing pull-ups. Okay. I like niggas who do pull-ups. Okay. So anyway, he's doing these pull-ups. He just looked like he's good. Okay. He got the swag. He got these strong hands. I like a man with strong hands. Oh, you built a house? Okay. Strong hand, built a house type of niggas. That's the niggas I like. Okay. So he just had this swag to him, and he just had this aura about him that I just was attracted to. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I saw the wedding ring. I seen the wedding ring is present. Not like he took it off sometimes. No. It's been there. It's bright and it's gold. It's yellow. It's there. It's shining. Yeah. Okay. So I still look past it because I'm like, look, I'm not married. The fuck? I don't have a responsibility to you or your wife. I'm not saying this is okay, obviously. And this whole story anyway, I'm whatever. 2021, I'm gonna say what I want continuously. So anyway, I look past it because I'm just like, oh, he's cute. Maybe he's just a fun time. Maybe we could just go out for dinner, type of thing. Just some energy. Just some new energy, even though it's married energy. It's new energy though, right? Child, no. So anyway, we meet up. So he's a barber. Okay, let me give you all context. He's a barber, and he also does, from what I found out, he does handiwork as well. He's good with his hands, he says. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he would he actually showed me a couple of clips of him painting a room, him cooking, him building a table. And it's I don't give a fuck. I know I said I want handy niggas. I want a man who knows how to build a house because your hands are so strong and stuff. But I just really don't care. Don't show me a video, a Snapchat of you building a house. What are we doing? This is boring. I'm bored. I'm not impressed. Anyway, he's a barber. Okay, that's really more of his full-time gig. But he's an entrepreneur. He's from Sierra Leone, and he goes home there every few months, and he's building a nightclub, some type of establishment in Sierra Leone, and getting that up and running. And he just has a lot going on. He's got a lot going on. These niggas are always, these entrepreneur ass niggas got a lot going on. Nigga, you're drug dealing. That's what you got going on. You are selling crack still. What are we doing? Okay. Anyway, but he's not doing that. At least I don't think so. He didn't share that. So he's barbering, right? So he does house calls for his barbering job, for his gig, and house calls are $100. That's what he charges, which is like, I don't care either. Like, I really don't care, but he's like telling me all these like money stuff, and it's like, are you trying to impress me? Because I'm still not. Actually, I'm less impressed. If I could be less impressed, I would. Like, that's how little impressed I am with whatever you got going on. Like, I don't give a fuck. Your little $100 the past 3 hours that you spent. Oh, you made $300 in 3 minutes. Wow. Like, I don't give a fuck. Do you have a house? Do you have equity? Do you have land? Do you have property? Like, do you have stuff that really matters? So he was in the area where I'm staying at temporarily. He was actually like not too far from me. So we ended up meeting up, and which is another red flag, because why the fuck don't you have a plan? I know you married and everything, but don't just talk about where you want to go, what you want to do. Nigga, have a plan. Shout out to Just Hilarious for getting that in her funny sketches, because I really can't stand a lazy ass dude. Like, I need you to come forward with an agenda. Do you want to go out to this skating rink? Do you want to go out to this steakhouse? Like, talk to me about something that is planned. Don't just come to me with some, well, you know, whatever you like. This is your neck of the woods. Like, and then he was trying to make it seem like, oh, because I live here, I would know more. I would have more options. Like, no, nigga, I don't. Even if I did, you should still have a plan. What are we doing? Ugh, anyway, that should be new merch. What are we doing? So we ended up not going out anywhere because he didn't have a plan, but he was still like a few minutes away from me. So we decided to just meet up. Like, okay, just come here. We'll just meet up in my car. Like, we'll just ride in my car, right? Imagine that wasn't even the plan. I didn't know I was going to be the driver, but apparently he didn't update his tags on his car, which is already like, what? But I'm not judging, because, child, I have a whole story about that. But praise be to God, my tags are updated now, because they weren't for a whole year. And I didn't realize that until like 3 months ago. Anyway, back to the story. So he's like, yeah, you know, my tag isn't updated. Can I just ride with you? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we go in my car, and I'm in my car already because I'm driving. And he comes out of his car, and this is the same car that I saw him in when we randomly saw each other at the Whataburger, which is a chain restaurant, a chain fast food restaurant here in Texas. And I knew that was not of the Lord. I knew it was the enemy, of course, but you know, nigga, I just want to flirt. Can I just flirt with you now? Can I flirt with the enemy for a second? Let me flirt with the devil real quick. Fuck, I'm bored. I need attention sometimes, even if it is from the devil. Fuck. Shit. What? What's the problem? So anyway, he came out of a caravan, and I just noticed it. Again, I'm not materialistic. I just notice shit. I peep everything. Okay? So peep that, okay? So he comes out of the same caravan when we met up, and I noticed like it's kind of smushed in the back. Like there was clearly an accident that happened. Yet when he comes out the caravan, I'm gonna specifically say caravan. When he came out the caravan, he's like dripping. You know when people say dripping, like, you know, like flossy, you know, tags, you know, just Prada, Louis Vuitton, like just brand names. And I still don't give a fuck, right? I still don't care. Like, okay, cool. You got these, you know, these name brand luxurious items on. You got, bling on, bling, bling. But you're driving a caravan that's dented? Ow. How? How did we get here? Just like Boston Bay. How did we get here? How did we get to you getting angry and stomping away because I asked you for snacks? How did we get here? How did we get here? And you're wearing Louis Vuitton, everything, top to bottom. You got rings on every finger, but you're driving a caravan? How did we get here? Okay. Whatever. No, and again, I'm not materialistic. I'm not judging you, right? We gotta drive something. But how did we get here? How the fuck did we get here? Nigga, how did you get here? How about that? How did you get here with that? But okay, fine. No big deal. So he gets in the car. And then he goes on to explain how he's driving this caravan. I don't know. It must have been one of his cars, maybe, because he then tells me how the car that he was driving, and mind you, he was quick to tell me the type of Affinity that he was using, Affinity QX52 like whatever. I don't care. So he tells me that, and I'm like, okay, so where is that? And he's like, oh, how he sold it back to Sierra Leone. Apparently he just sells cars back home. So you sell cars and now you're left with a caravan? But why? Like, why did you decide that? Like, were you that much in need of money that you need to sell that car in order to stay afloat? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oftentimes when people sell things, they don't do it out of, because I got something else better. I got an upgrade. If you sell that car, that means you must have gotten an upgrade. That means you must have gotten something else instead. Maybe you got gifted something else, right? Something. But no, you had to sell that car. You sold that car because you needed the money. Okay, Mister, I'm dripping in Louis Vuitton, but you selling cars because you're in need. So it's like this facade, and that's what I'm talking about. I hate when people are so materialistic because it's oftentimes a facade. You're oftentimes in a facade. You're broke. Your account is depleted. It's overdrawn. Nothing's coming out because you have no money. You can't go to the ATM. You got to pay off this balance. When your income tax come in, they're paying off a balance. What are we doing? So anyway, he comes in the car. He tells me that. And then he's like really going in. Mind you, before we met up, he would call me. He would text me super, beautiful, beautiful this, beautiful that. He wanted to see me. Like his plan, actually, he did have a plan. Prior to us seeing each other in the car, he was saying how, I should come to his client's home. He got this spot. He has a house, you could come and just hang out. You're good. You're with me. You don't have to worry about anything. And I'm like, no. And I'm so glad I said no because, nigga, what? Why am I at this random guy's house and I literally just gave you my number and I'm at someone else's house for you who I just met? Nigga, if this is not a Lifetime movie where I get locked up in an abandoned home, I don't know what is. This is not going to be me. Okay. So I said no. Cause I said to him, I'm trying to, when I say no, I lay it down smooth. So I'm like, I just don't really feel comfortable with that. It's our first time hanging out and I'm not going to go to someone's house as our first time hanging out. I said, oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel bad for even asking. No worries about that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking that's done, right? So when we actually do hang out, when he comes in my car later on, he brings it up again. He then says, I promise you it's a really good time. You're with me. It's going to be fine. Da, 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 da. And technically, it won't be our first time hanging out since this is our first time hanging out since we're in this car, right? And then I'm like thinking to myself, why is he so persistent on bringing me to this man's house? To this random guy's house. This guy who obviously knows that he's married. And that's really what I didn't like, right? Because it's one thing to be a homewrecker. It's one thing to be with somebody who both of you know he's married. But it's another thing to be out and about with other niggas who knows that he's married and you're out here just looking like a fool. Like, it just looks weird. It looks uncomfortable. You look like a fool. You look stupid. You look shameful. That's what it looks like. Like, if we're going to hang out, let us just hang out at a private area, not at someone else's house who knows that you're a married man. That I don't like that. And also, I don't like the message that gives. Like, obviously I'm already giving a bad message since I'm even giving him my time, right? But I don't have to give your friends a bad message about me. What if I like one of your friends? And then honestly, maybe just me being extra thinking about it, I still said no. It didn't happen. But when I thought in that moment, like, damn, why is he so persistent? Like, I said no. Like, he kept on. And mind you, when he asked me again, he was like, please, come on, please. Like, he said please. Ew. When niggas say please, that's a red flag. That's a red flag for me. Don't say please to me, nigga. You a whole man. You saying please? Like, and it's the way that he said it though. It was the tone. It was the affliction in his voice. It was like this pleading, like begging. No means no. If you can't take a no means no, I'm concerned. That feels a little strange for me, and that just rubbed me the wrong way. After we hung out, I thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, what if I could have been hurt? Like, what if I did say yes? Because look, I didn't make, throughout my dating experiences, y'all, I did not make wise choices. I could have been in harm's way, but praise be to God, I wasn't. And I recognize that it could have been a flip of a switch. I really could have been in harm's way in previous situations with niggas. So I think about, like, I could have easily gone to his friend's house. I could have easily been there. And I could have easily been in harm's way. Look, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I recognize that there is a lot of sex trafficking happening, and he being someone who's sending stuff home to Sierra Leone every few months, sending cars home. How much you think he could get off of me? How much you think you could get a couple of Benjamins from me? I'm not trying to, put a price tag on me, but my point is I could get a good profit. Someone could get a good profit off of me. And what if he had a sex trafficking ring? What if this was a house that was prostituting girls? Like, I don't know. I could have been in harm's way, to say the least. So it could have been a sex trafficking ring. It could have been, what else? It could have just been a rape gang situation. Like, I could have been in harm's way. So I thank God that I did not say yes to that. And I did not just, okay, fine, let's just go. And mind you, even in that moment, he wanted to have, anyway, but I'm just so happy I didn't say yes. So I really thought about that. Like, damn, why was he pleading so hard? Like, what? I'm not trying to go to your friend's house for what? Like, I don't even know your friend. I don't even know you like that. I'm going to his house and he knows you're married and he knows I know you're married. And it just looks like I'm a hussy, right? And it looks like, oh, she's about that life. Let me go ahead and try to get at her. And then if she try to resist, I'm just going to slap her up and fuck her. And I'm going to rape her, Child, whew. Thank you, God. Anyway, I just say thank you, God, right now. Because I really felt like it could have been a bad situation. And there's a reason why I'm feeling this way. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have. And I think this is a sign that it could have been something crazy. So I didn't go. There was a couple of signs in that moment where I felt like, I do not want to deal with this nigga. Like, this is not even worth it. So as much as I want to, it looks nice to be taken care of. God did not build me that way. I'm just not that girl. So, and another reason. So, child, I got so much to say. We at 123, but let me just say this. So, he, like I said, when we were at the salon, he had a hat on the whole time. So I never really got to see his hairline. But understand this. When niggas wear hats all the time, like indoors, that means you don't like your hairline. That means you got an S for a hairline, okay? And I'm saying S, like, you know how with the letter S, you could have that, there's that swirl. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's a swirl. So that's what his hairline is. Like, this nigga, what's going on? So he has that swirl ass foreign immigrant ass hairline. And I'm saying this as has a daughter of immigrants. I know what the fuck I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, he has his hairline like that. I'm like, oh Lord, red flag. Any nigga with that hairline, don't come close to me. Don't. We're not doing this, okay? So he was telling me, I think he just like happened to take off his hat real quick, and he was talking about how like, oh yeah, somebody just fucked up my hairline. And I'm thinking to myself, aren't you a barber? How someone fucked up your hairline? Aren't you doing your own hair? What? And maybe that's not even a thing, because I know some people who are hairstylists, they don't do their own hair, right? It's mad work. I mean, you can't reach certain angles. Cool. But at least, the very least, you know how to pick somebody who knows how to do hair, right? Like, I would think so. Child. And I think oftentimes those niggas who have hairlines like that, it's not about getting a bad hairline job by somebody. It's not about that. No, that's just how naturally your hair grew. Like, that's how your hair grows. That's really just how your hair is. So anyway, that was a red flag for me again. And I want to say finally, for me, I have a thing with gum. I really don't like gum. I don't like the chewing of gum. I don't like the smell of gum. I don't like niggas around me chewing gum. If you chewing a gum and you a nigga, you're not getting close to me. Tell me why he was in my car. As soon as he got in my car, I think he just popped a fresh one in his mouth. So he chewed, it's like a blue gum too. Oh God, I hate gum. So he's chewing this gum the whole time. I'm just like crawling. And I think I made a comment. I was like, damn, you chewing gum? You just spit out that gum. You know, I'm saying something like that, but he didn't. I don't think he heard me, or maybe he just didn't care to follow, but he didn't spit it out. It was just so gross to me. Like, why are you chewing gum? Are you nervous? Does your breath stink? Like, are you like, I feel like grown men should not be chewing gum. That's the tweet. That's it right there. Grown men should not be chewing gum. What are you doing? Did you not brush your teeth this morning? Did you eat a pack of onions before you met up with me? Why are you chewing gum? Ew, a grown man. That's not a grown man act. I'm dead ass. I haven't come across grown men, and I'm speaking to straight black men, who chew gum. You just chew gum? Why? Why are you doing that? I'm sorry, why are you doing that? Like, that's really what it is. So he was chewing gum the whole time. He was talking my ear off about like, here's the thing with like immigrants, because he is an immigrant. He's from Sierra Leone, like born and raised there. He came to America in his teenage years. So he still is like, you know, he's a foreigner at heart. And when you are a black person who is not from America and you come to America, there is some this is with anybody, but there is some assimilation that you do. There is some adapting that you do, and you adopt the black American culture. And with him, he adopted so well that you wouldn't even, I knew he was African, right? But you wouldn't even think he was like African. You would just think, okay, he's African, but he's black, you know, like he had a good way. Like he just adopted the style and the swag of a black American. And it's so much so that it feels like a caricature. It feels like he's putting on a facade. Like he'll say like, yo, so what's up with you? What's up with you? Like, you know, he'll say stuff like that niggas in America say. And it's like, nigga, do you know what the fuck that means? So, and a good example of that. So he was like, what's up with you? I'm like, okay, so what do you mean by what's up? And I'm thinking, that's just me being a teacher, me being someone who's specific, you know, what are you asking? You know? He's like, you know what I mean by what's up with you? So I'm thinking, because typically when niggas say that, they're asking you if you're single, you know, what's going on with you, you know, do you got something going on? And so I answered it like that, right? So he then, like a moment later, he asked me, so do you have a boyfriend? And I'm thinking, you just asked me what's up with me. Like that, we already had this conversation, you know? So I think with that, there is this delay. There is this just unnatural way of going about things because he's not truly a black American. And I'm not trying to divide, black communities. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a difference when it comes to African black, and there's African American black. Okay. So he was like, what's up with you? I'm like, anyway. So he's been on, like, he was on my dick, just like OD. I just didn't give him too much play, and it was in that moment I just realized, yeah, I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I'm just not that girl. I'm not that girl. As much as I would like to be that girl, as much as that girl entices me, I'm just not that girl. And so I decided, like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this go. So the next day, and he's been on me like, good morning, beautiful, hope you have a great day. And then he will actually ask me for pictures of myself, like, I just would love to have a picture of you. I'm like, nigga, you just saw me, why you need what? And I really think he probably got some sex trafficking ring going on. I dead ass think that, because that was another situation where he kept on asking me for something in which I already said no to. So why are you still asking? I remember he asked me that the first time, right after we just met, or right after we just exchanged numbers. And I said to him, I was like, no, I'm not sending you a picture. Like, you just saw me. You don't have, because he asked me in a way like, oh, I need to see you type of thing. I'm like, well, you just saw me. Like, you know how I look like. I'm not a catfish. And then when you came to see me at the window, or like when you came to my window at my car the first time we met, I had my mask off. I'm in my car. I took my mask off. So you saw me well and dandy. I was present. So anyway, I said no. I'm like, just use your memory. Like, he was trying to make it seem like he never saw me. So I'm like, just use your memory. Like, you literally just saw me. Then he asked me again later on, like in another conversation, oh, I would love to have a picture of someone beautiful on my phone. Like, and the thing is with like immigrant Africans, they would, what is it? Like, there is this, they don't know how to spell, right? He was like, oh, this Haitian beauty. He spelled Asian. And, some people, okay, we make typos, right? Oh, it's a typo. But you correct yourself. That's a big ass difference. There's Haitian and there's Asian. These are two different things. Like, what? Nigga, not even in the same diaspora. Like, not even in a diaspora. What the fuck is this? Talking about Asian. This Asian beauty. I'm like, who's Asian? I'm sorry. Who's Asian? So he didn't say that. So yeah, so he just weird. So anyway, he kept on asking me. I said no again. No, I'm not giving you my picture. For what? Like, so your wife could find out? Like, what are we doing? So he just took it at that. I feel like, what if he was asking me for my picture to send it to his like executive assistant back in Sierra Leone, who's in charge of his sex trafficking ring? I really think it's something going on. I really do, because it was too needy. It was too needy, and it was too weird for me. So anyway, the next day I decided, like, I'm just gonna cut it, because I felt super convicted about it. And it's not even on some, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wreck a home. And I'm not condoning to be with or to even entertain married niggas. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just, let's just be honest. There are some marriages out here who are not really in it for love. Like, it's just a convenience thing. It's just a tax write-off. It's just okay, it's easier to just be married and do this thing called life, because we could split the financial responsibilities. Like, there's a lot of situations in which people are married primarily for business. Okay. And I think that was the situation with him and his wife. And even though they have kids together, it still doesn't mean that it was necessarily out of a love marriage. I'm just saying that, because the way that he like talked about her. And look, again, niggas just be like talking down on shit to whoever girl they want to talk to. But the way that he was so quick to just get my number and approach me, like, nigga, don't you have a wife? I just think he has a wife just to have a wife. Like, okay, he wants a family. Okay, he has children. Okay, this is what you do to get that. Like, duh. But because a lot of immigrants do get married to have children and have all of that. But Like they don't see having children outside of marriage as an option. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, he I think all of that is just a way for him to get this convenience out of life. So I don't think it's some type of love situation. Either way, that wasn't necessarily what convicted me. What convicted me was, one, yeah, I really don't, I don't want to necessarily, I wasn't looking at him as someone who I really liked anyway. And I feel like I would just rather spend time with someone who's available, because again, although I'm in control of my feelings and I've been more aware of the intentions that I make, I just don't want to just even put myself in a situation where I'm liking you so hard and I know that, oh, this can't go anywhere. Like, what am I, like, for what? What am I doing? Like, what are we doing this for? And then all these other factors that came in that made me feel a little uneasy about it. His hairline, his hairline, that's a big deal. Like, your hairline is like that. You chewing gum, blue gum. So I'm seeing it every time you chew. Like, ew. I know that sounds petty. But I'm saying, like, these are all in addition to all these other things. Okay? I'm just saying all these things. Him being persistent on coming over his sex trafficking ring ass friend's house. Look, allegedly. But all of this to say, I just wasn't even attracted to him. Like, I really wasn't attracted to him as I thought. Like, I thought I got mask fished. That's what it was. I got mask fished. I got hat fished. And I'm just utterly disgusted. He came out, and I think it's also like this lie. Like, you came out this caravan dripping in, top tier brands, but you drive a beat up caravan? How did we get here? So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to tell him straight up, this is not going to be anything more than platonic. Let's just cut it right now, because I'm just not, no. So I just keep it very short and sweet. I was like, good morning. Thank you. Why did I say thank you? Oh, okay. Because he texted me in the morning, have a good day. Hope you sleep well. Have a beautiful day ahead. Because before, like I said, he was texting me nonstop. He'll call me. He would, like, when we were talking in my car, he was saying how he'll drop anything for me. He'll, if I needed him at any point, he could, he'll be there for me. And, what are we doing for my birthday? His birthday is actually February 1st. So, wow, Aquarius gang all that time. But I don't really fuck with Aquarius niggas like that anyway. And I'm not even trying to be so lenient on zodiac signs anymore, since I've been exposed from the New Age movement, or the New Age movement has been exposed to me by God. But, when I think about just how we came about, like, it just wasn't, like, I already knew it wasn't from God. I already knew it was straight from hell. But seeing more examples of it straight in my face, like him making a big deal that, wow, that his birthday is 4 days before mine, and wow, he just feels this connection. I just feel this connection. He was saying how, like, that's how I could tell that he's very insecure and he's very materialistic. He was saying how girls wouldn't even try to look at him because he's driving his caravan, and he felt so happy that I even gave him attention, knowing that he drives this caravan. And he just kept so emphasizing on the caravan. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, you must be broke. Like, you must be broke. This insecurity, because if this is just a loaner car, right? If your car's in the shop, or if your car is X, Y, and Z, you must be so, like, financially strapped, to say the least, that you feel uncomfortable that this woman may not give you attention because you ain't got it like that. Like, you must be so uneasy about it. And that's how I see it. So anyway, I'm just like, he's just going in, like, how much, like, oh, we could go to Dallas. We could go to this is Lake Travis here. That's like this beautiful lake, apparently. And I've heard of it. And it looks nice from what I see. I haven't been there yet. And he was saying how, he could take me there. Just like showing, like, just like convincing me of this life. Or like, well, I mean, what kind of life you could really give me. You could really accost me with. Like, okay. But he was still trying to show me up this world that he wanted to create with me and him. And it was in that moment I felt like, okay, like this is a little too much. This is too much. And I've been in situations where I've been, oh, I just feel a connection. Oh, I just feel it. I just feel it. And it's always been a lie. It's always been a lie. Every time you feel, let's just be specific. Every time I felt a connection with niggas, whomever I've dated or just spent time with, niggas, it's always just been a lie. Like, this goes for any, like, men, women, you know, it's always just been bullshit. Like, this lust is really what connection is. Like, this I just feel connected. I just feel so drawn to you. I wouldn't say that, I don't want to necessarily say that's of the enemy. I don't want to say that necessarily. I mean, it really is. But my point is, oftentimes that's led by our fleshly desires. It's not really a lasting emotion because you see immediately, at least for me, the veil is taken off and I'm realizing, oh, you really ain't shit. Like, oh, we really don't have strong conversations, or, oh, this is boring, or, oh, you have these issues, or, oh, you're controlling. There was one time he told me, he was saying, oh, you know, how do you wear your braids? Because, you know, my hair's in knotless braids. You know, we met at the African hair salon. So I usually wear it down. Sometimes I do put it up sometimes, but I usually wear it down. And he was saying how he likes it when it's in the ponytail. Like, he likes the braids in the ponytail. Like, why are you even telling me this? Like, I'm supposed to just change my whole look for you because you like it in the, nigga, I don't even know you. I'm not even gonna talk to you after this day. The fuck? You making your request known. I like niggas who have cute hairlines. How about that? I like niggas who actually have a hairline. How about that? I like niggas who don't have S hairlines. Can you do that for me? Oh, you can't? So shut the fuck up. Like, stop. He had a little dad gut as well, but he dripping on this Dior, all of this Gucci. Like, do you have money in the bank? Oh, you do. Okay. Do you have land? Oh, okay. Do you just have you just have cash? Just straight. Oh, okay. You just have straight cash. Okay, got it. So you don't have any, what's your credit score? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying all this to make anyone feel bad or anything. It's just like, when you come off with a facade, when you put off a facade, you are going to get this judgment by me. You are, because you acting like something when you really not. You acting like you dripping, but you really not. Just be yourself, motherfucker. Just be yourself. Anyway, I say to him, look, you know, after reflecting, it's best that we keep things strictly platonic. That's all I say. Very straightforward, very specific. You know, I just don't want, I've learned to say no, but I recognize that a lot of people don't know how to take rejection. They don't know how to take a no. So I say no in a well-cushioned way. And I hope that you could respond in a respectful, mature way and just say, you know, I totally understand. You know, it was great knowing you, right? You just keep it straight and simple, and that's it. He responds talking about, good morning, Maxine. Mind you, we already said good morning. Why are you saying it again? Like, super extra. He put 2 exclamation points. If a nigga's putting 2 exclamation points, I'm afraid. You're a little aggressive. So he said, good morning, Maxine. Mind you, he wrote, I'm not adding words in, y'all. He wrote, why are you going that far? Am actually not even thinking about you that way at this moment. Wow. With the surprise emoji face. Nigga, shut the fuck up and kiss my black ass. How about that? But here's the thing with me. Growth is real. Okay? Emotional intelligence is real. self-identity in Christ is real. Like, all of these things are real for me. So I am not gonna take this bait as an opportunity to pop off and be like, oh really, you wasn't saying that when you was asking for pictures of me, you wasn't saying that when you was, you know, saying you'll fall down on beck and knee for me. You wasn't saying that when you was asking me if I have a boyfriend. If you wasn't thinking about me like that, why you asking if I have a boyfriend? Nigga, if you don't really care for me like that, why you care if I got a boyfriend? Huh? So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to give him light. I'm just going to end it. So I say, sure, have a good day. Sure, have a good day, motherfucker. What are we doing? So he say, you too, Maxine. Why are you saying my name twice? The fuck? Just say you too. Like, okay, Calvin. Oh, shit. I wasn't supposed to. Well, whatever. Married nigga. That's his name. So anyway, I don't respond. I just take it like that. Like, okay, wiping of hands. It just really shows who you are. And it shows the gaslighting that niggas do when they are faced with rejection, when they are faced with the discomfort of, and sure, it's uncomfortable to feel rejected, right? It doesn't feel good. You don't aspire to being rejected, but you move on. You're 37. Huh? You're 37. Why are you so upset? Why can't you understand why I will want to make this strictly platonic? Why are you trying to act like this is all in my head? Nigga, you've been texting me all motherfucking day. Trying to see me. Trying to see what I'm about to do. Trying to see if I could send you a picture. Forcing me to come over to your sex trafficking ring home. Allegedly. But what are we doing? Let's just keep it a buck. Can we keep it a buck? Nigga, you trying to fuck. Okay? So him trying to act like he wasn't, it's just a slap in the face, and it really just shows his immaturity, and it shows that instantly people could switch up on you. If they don't get what they want, boom, they could switch up on that ass. And then what happens? You're caught off guard. You didn't expect this person to act this way. You're flabbergasted, of course. So all of that to say, when people show you who they are, believe them, one, and the flags that you see, the red flags that you see, the uneasiness that you feel when someone keeps asking you for a picture, when someone keeps asking you to come over their sex trafficking ring house. And I'm gonna keep on saying that because I really believe it could have been a situation like that. I'm dead ass. Okay? I'm saying all this to say, believe that, receive that. Don't ignore your visceral gut reaction and feelings. It is real, it's God-given, and I could have been raped. Lord, praise God. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I could have been harmed. I could have been in harm's way, to say the very least, or the most. But instead, I just got someone who tried to gaslight me. So then he says, you too, Maxine, after I say, sure, have a good day. Like, not even giving him energy about how he responded, trying to act like it's all in my head. Like, okay, nigga, if I was going to give you an opportunity to fuck, if I was going to say, okay, let's fuck right now, you would have taken off your pants. Oh, your pants would have been off before you got in my car. Like, let's stop playing. Let's stop. Can we keep it a bug? Like, come on, nigga. You would have fucked. Okay. So he says, wanted to call. So he responds, okay? After I didn't respond to him, like, I was done with the conversation, ready to delete. Mind you, I was going to delete this thread, but I said, let me just leave it so I could remember everything, so I could deliver this content for you guys. Look, my life is for this podcast. Everything that I go through is to tell somebody about. So thank you. Or you're welcome. That's really what it is. Okay, so he says, wanted to call you, but it seems like from what you text me this morning, you don't want to talk to me anymore. And I keep wondering, what have I done wrong? Miss you, by the way. Are you listening? Did you hear what and that's what I really think it is. Like, I really feel like his marriage is out of convenience, is out of business, is It's out of financial responsibility. It's not out of love. So I don't think the idea of me wanting to step out because him being married and it being an ethical and moral thing to do registers for him, because he doesn't, like, his marriage is not out of love, right? So there's that. But I also just feel like you're not listening to what I just said. I said strictly platonic. I didn't call you a bitch ass nigga. I didn't call you out your name. I didn't say don't ever talk to me again. I'm blocking your ass. You are disgusting. Like, I didn't say any of that. So why did you even say that it seems like I don't want to talk to you anymore and you trying to figure out what you did wrong? Like, what are you talking about? Like, look, if you had a question, you should have just asked me that from the very get-go when I said what I said, instead of trying to act like it was all in my head for things to not suddenly be platonic anymore. And then you saying miss you, like trying to somehow get me to be comfortable enough to just let you back in. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. It's gonna be a no for me. Like, don't ever hit me up again. Like, I've done a lot. I've experienced a lot of gaslighting from Boston Bay. I really don't even have the energy, the goals to experience that with somebody else. As soon as another guy gaslights me, I'm out. Like, I'm not even trying to psychoanalyze you. I'm not praying for you. I'm not gonna be convicted enough to pray for you, because I wouldn't even be invested enough in you. I'm not saying you have to be invested in someone to be convicted by them, but sometimes when you are, you feel a responsibility for that person. And so I'm not even gonna do that with new niggas anymore. It's like, oh, you trying to play me? I'm gone. I'm not responding. I'm not giving you a time of day. Like, nigga, you chew gum and get 37. Why are you chewing gum? Okay. Like, what are we doing? So the next day, I didn't respond. The next day, he texts me again, talking about just checking on you. Hope you having a beautiful day with the heart eye emoji. Nigga, I'm fine. Why you checking on me for? I'm not ill. I'm not without. I'm not in lack. Why are you checking on me like as if I shared something with him and he wanted to see how I'm coping with said reason, right? What? Nigga, leave me the fuck alone. Didn't I just say, or didn't you just say that you think I don't want to talk to you anymore? Why are you then trying to talk to me? I feel like, this is that nigga shit, like him trying to be this Black American type of nigga who, oh yeah, she says she doesn't want to, but yo, just text her one more time. She gonna say something. Cause I promise you, had I said, or had I even double tapped that message and just liked it, he would have responded with some, oh, I'm so happy you was, diarrhea of the mouth, like how Boston Bay does. Anyway, I say all this to say, when a person gaslights you, please don't ignore it. Don't get invested and then let it go. Oh, child. Yeah, I'm looking back on the previous text. Like, you really trying to play me as if I'm just Boo Boo the Fool. Like, no. You was trying to get at me. You was trying to see what this mouth do. And you won't. And then, I'm reading back to the previous message when he first asked me, or around the time when he first asked me for a picture, he was like, can I make sure someone is doing beautiful as she is, with the heart face emoji, and like trying to push more. It was after the first time he asked me for a picture, trying to push more for a picture. Like, nigga, did you forget how I look? Like, I literally just saw you a day before. Ciao. Anyway, so I said all this because I wanted to share. I saved his thread because I wanted to share this story with y'all, so now I can finally delete it. Ooh, I hate having old messages on my phone. I really do. I like to clear shit out. I used to clear everything out every night at 10 p.m. But some things I do keep just for a moment, just to make sure everything is like If it's like a business text or something, like I'm up to date with it. But anyway, I'm deleting that right now. Literally doing it right now. Delete. Hallelujah. But I say all this to say, you guys. It's been a long episode. Thank you for still tuning in and listening. I really appreciate you still listening to my voice right now. I do want to end off this episode with a congratulations. Congrats are in order, and I really just want to give praise to God for this amazing accomplishment, because I don't think we recognize how divorce is necessary sometimes. And I just want to give a congratulations to Kim Ye. Kim Ye, which is in short for Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. They allegedly are getting a divorce, and I know we oftentimes don't like to say congratulations for divorces, right? Of course, it's the brokenness of a family. Oh my gosh, a family's being torn apart. Congratulations. Congratulations. Why? Because maybe finally we could get Kanye back. Maybe finally we could get Mr. West is in the building back. Maybe finally his mind will get back to the mind that we missed, the mind that we loved and adored. Maybe finally his sanity could be restored. Maybe finally he could get out. Maybe he could just get out, just like the movie, just get out. I'm pleased. And I think this whole Capitol Hill terrorist attack really just put a shadow over the divorce. But when I read that, I was just like, hello. Look, I'm elated every time a black man and a non-black woman are no longer together. I'm elated every time. I'm going to say it again. I don't think y'all heard me in the back. I'm elated every time when a black man and a non-black woman are no longer together. Build a black family. This ain't it. This ain't it. I'm sorry. Ever since y'all know how the Kardashians just ruin these black men. Okay? Can we talk about Chris Humphries? Well, is he? Well, he got some black in him. You know, when they say you 3/4 black, you black. So Chris Humphries, Lamar Odom, every nigga Khloe Kardashian fucked, all of them had a moment of just downfall during the time when they were with a Kardashian, either during the time or right after it ended their life. Lamar Odom almost died. I think he actually did die, but resurrected. Like, I know only Jesus resurrected, but you know what I mean? Like, he was in a coma and he finally, caught back into reality. So I say all this to say congratulations are in order. I think this is going to be some great music coming forth from Kanye West moving forward. And I'm looking forward to it. I think we need to just recognize how dangerous that family is. Rumor has it that Kanye just did not want to be a part of the family anymore, that he got tired of the clan. And, he's been having this spiritual awakening to Jesus Christ, not just the new age type of awakening, but he's in a different space right now. And I think spiritually they're not in alignment. I think it's this lack of compromise. He wanted to move to, where did he want to move to? He wanted to move to Wyoming. Well, they do have a house in Wyoming, but either way, I remember seeing a couple of episodes of the Kardashian reality show, and she was not interested in moving there. Oh no, it was Chicago. She was not interested in going to Chicago. It was someplace, but there was some friction. There. And I think also Kim, she's also not the same Kim we knew. She's growing too. She's working towards becoming a lawyer, which is awesome. And rumor has it that she might be going out with Van Jones. Okay. And that's great for her rebranding. I say all this to say, I think Kim K and Kanye were together because it looked good. It worked well with the business. It was just a good look. And eventually, the look fades away. Eventually, the diamonds, the prestige, the lifestyle, it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't. So when I think about my situation and my possible situation with married nigga, it doesn't fulfill me. God built me in a way to just not be a kept woman. As much as I want to be, as much as I would love to be taken care of, I'm just not built that way. And, I think, that's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing to not be under someone's whim, under someone's control, because God forbid I was, and I could have been just a slave. Like, I'm just too much of a bad bitch to be that girl. God created me to be someone who is strong in my identity, who is strong in my opinion and my mindset and all these things. So I just can't even imagine being with someone and being okay with him saying the fact that he even, like, this is our first time hanging out. He's telling me how he likes the braids in my hair to be in a ponytail. Nigga, shut the fuck up. I like niggas who don't have S hairlines. How about that? I like niggas who don't have a dad gut. How about that? Can you change that? I like niggas who don't chew blue gum or gum at all. How about that? I like niggas who aren't married. How about that? I like niggas who don't send cards to Sierra Leone every 3 months. How about that? I like niggas who don't drive beat up caravans but wear Louis Vuitton drip from head to toe. How about that? Like, what do we do? I like niggas who not showing me their Snapchat videos talking about, oh, I'm good with my hands. I paint walls. I cook meals. I could even braid. I like niggas who don't do any of that. How about that? I like niggas who knows the difference between Asians and Haitians. How about that? How about that? I mean, I could go. Can I go? Can I just continue? Can I continue? I like niggas who knows how to spell that and not say DAT, but spell it correctly. How about that? I mean, I already deleted the thread, but the list goes on. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? I like niggas who don't have sex trafficking rings. How about that? What? Huh? I like niggas who don't go to barbers and get a botched hair job, but they're barbers themselves. Yeah, you couldn't pick out a strong barber to cut your hair. How about that? Child, I'm gonna end this episode. I know it's been 2 hours, and this is the longest. I think it's the longest. I had one episode that was either almost 2 hours or exactly 2 hours with Alicia. That was a great episode. But how about that? How about it? Look, I say all this to say congrats to Kim K and Kanye. I'm gonna continue with this intercessory prayer that the Holy Spirit convicted me to do. And I got 30 minutes before the day is over, so I gotta get it done right now. And I am at peace because God is on my side. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. This has been a long one, and I'm so grateful that you are still here. Please continue to support this podcast by telling a friend, a colleague, a family member, yourself. Like, remind every time an episode comes out, share it out loud. I appreciate the reposts and just the love that I get from my listeners, my friends. I really appreciate it. And I thank you so much for tuning in. And I will check in with you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This Podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.